Hello and welcome to tonight's SBC News. Three options for Air Seychelles are on the table tonight to decide the airline's fate. Administrators for the embattled business are considering what's best and will make their recommendations to the firm's creditors. The latest development was outlined at a joint media briefing today, but there's no word yet on whether more jobs are under threat. SBC's Patrick Merhead reports.
A new twist in the Air Seychelles story tonight, now the airline's in administration. It's drowning under a $70 million bondholder debt, but it'll be up to accountants to look at the books and make recommendations on what happens next.
Today the administration is the way we feel protects everybody, including the shareholder, the creditors, the country, and the company and its employees.
Three options are available, including shutting the airline down. Putting it in administration effectively now takes that decision out of the hands of the shareholders being the government.
What you have is that the decision has been moved to a third party to effect either reorganization, effect a rescue plan, and if it's not real or if it's not accepted by the creditors, to go back to the court and to recommend a winding up of Air Seychelles.
That's what EA Partners, the bondholder group, would like, but the company chairperson insists it's a viable business, if not a hugely profitable one.
We do not need money to be injected into the operations for us to continue. And I know this is a very strong statement. We have worked so hard this past couple of months to look at a business plan that will sustain Air Seychelles should the liability go away.
There was no word on whether more jobs will be lost. Administrators now have up to 6 months to decide if the business should be salvaged or sacrificed.
The annual ceremony as part of Teachers' Day to honour long-service teachers was held today at the ICCS. 53 long-service teachers were honoured, of which 14 who have completed 25 years service, 37 who are retiring after completing long years of service, and 2 were awarded for 43 years of service. Jeannie Marie and Linda Françoise have been in the teaching profession since 1978 and clocked 43 years of service. Merida Delcy was honoured for her 48 years service in the education system. Today's ceremony was attended by President Wevaron Kalawan, the Minister for Education, Dr. Justin Valentin, the Minister for Youth, Sports and Family, Marie-Céline Diallo, and other educational professionals. The Minister of Education has asked all partners in the teaching profession to transform lives in the classes and provide students with an environment so that they enjoy going to school. Minister Justin Valentin was speaking at the Takamaka Primary School, where he started his primary education. He said it was the occasion to show his appreciation and gratitude to all teachers on this day, which nationally is being celebrated under the theme Honour the Past and Redefine the Future. Minister Valentin has also called on teachers to appreciate their profession.
Amazingly, the teacher who taught me while I was in P2 back then in 1978 is still around in the very same school, and I am happy to share this day with her as well. I am standing on this platform to share my vision in relation to changing the image of teaching. I am therefore inviting the teacher community across the country to share these aspirations as I walk you through the transformational lane and as I instill in you the enzyme that will ultimately catalyze the speed at which you will transform yourself into the best version you aspire to be. I join the world to congratulate and thank the teachers in Seychelles, from both the public and the private schools, for playing a remarkably fantastic role in keeping the COVID-19 at bay. It is possible to create a context where students and teachers enjoy being at school. 2. Changing the face of classroom and making curriculum materials more relevant are variable outcomes if we want to enthuse the learners of the 21st century. And 3, effective teaching is grounded on effective professional learning, hence teachers need to unconditionally embrace professional development.
The Speaker of the Assembly, Roger Mancienne, also delivered a message to teachers in which he agreed on the special role that teachers have to play in society and in educating people. He said that they are the ones who determine the future of a country. In the absence of opposition leader Sébastien Pillet, MNA Sylvain Lemiel said the country must value teachers more and praise them for their work, especially during these difficult times. MNA Sandy Arisol, meanwhile, called on parents to better appreciate teachers, their jobs and the time they spend with the children. Vice President Ahmed Afif has announced that the IDC has started an agricultural project on Desroches Island, which is already helping to reduce the importation of some fruits and vegetables. The Vice President added that in addition to fruits and vegetables, IDC will relaunch the prawn and poultry farming project, in particular chicken farming in Koitsivi, as part of its 2018-2023 Island Development Plan project. He made these statements to the National Assembly this morning in response to a question from MNA Richard Labrosse on the government's desire to exploit the islands for food production. Mr. Afif specified that agricultural production on these islands will be different from that of Mahé, Praslin and La Digue. Several defense lawyers have won their case in the Constitutional Court to annul a directive issued last year. The directive concerns the disclosure of the trial bundles, background information of the case, evidence gathered so far, and so on, to the trial judge at the beginning of a hearing in criminal cases. The lawyers brought the case on behalf of 4 accused persons charged with drug trafficking, saying the disclosure infringes on their right to fair trial as provided for under Article 19 of the Constitution, and that rather the information should be disclosed as the case progresses. Fire destroyed a house at Ferryland on Royal this morning. 2 people live in the house. Fire and Rescue Services Agency says there was only 1 person in the house who was sleeping at the time when the fire started, but fortunately he awoke when he heard the noise and could get out safe and sound. The spokesperson of the Fire and Rescue Services Agency, Jones Madeleine, says that they got the call at the command center. He says they sought the help from the Anspoilo Fire Service Station, who arrived and attended to the scene before the arrival of the fire engines from town. Education and tourism are the main sector that President Wavell Ramkalawan discussed with the new ambassador of Ireland. Ms. Mary O'Neill presented her accreditation to President Ramkalawan this morning, and she says that one of her focus will be the climate change.
A number of areas that we would be focusing on, but primarily around climate action. This is an area that is really important for Seychelles and for Ireland. It's an area that we work closely together on, and it's an area where we provide support both at the international level, but also around specific interventions here in Seychelles.
President Ramkalawan also met with the ambassador of Belgium, Peter Maddens, and they discussed on how to improve the different sectors in Seychelles due to the impact of COVID-19.
We talked about the challenges to Seychelles' tourism sector, the challenges of the past and the challenges of today, which is more or less looking at what can be improved and doing that now, just as the country is rebounding from the COVID era.
What are some areas of cooperation that you will be focusing on during your tenure?
Well, one of the things we talked about with the president was how important the education sector is, and what I'd like to look at, and I have no idea where it stands right now. But what I'd really like to look at is what we can do together in terms of cooperating in terms of education. Absolutely, if there's any Seychellois who want to come to Belgium to study, if I can put them in touch with certain institutions of higher.
Those are our main stories so far this evening. Join me again at 8. Bye for now.